Alright, hey guys, today we're taking a look at the new Crystal, the new version of the Crystal K101, Revo K101 Plus. There was an early release of this which didn't have the colored buttons, but that's not the only change. For those of you who weren't too happy or wanted more precise inputs, the original K1 Revo, if you saw my review of that, I said the buttons are a little bit squishy, but I didn't really find a big problem with that since they were still accurate. They don't give the same feedback as the original Nintendo console, but they still do they still do work, and they're still pretty precise. But yeah, apparently they've actually fixed this in the new K1 Revo, the new release of the K1 Revos. So that's pretty nice to see. The buttons have have a way better feedback to them. They feel a lot closer to the original Nintendo consoles they were on. While not exactly like that of a original Game Boy Advance, probably because I've worn these buttons out quite a bit, but it still doesn't give exactly the same feel, but it's really, really close to that of like a Nintendo DS. Even the layout's exactly the same, pretty much, you can see right here. And the other thing I had a little bit more problem with the buttons was the LNRs. If you remember from my other video, I said these things wiggle quite a bit. They've actually tightened that up a bit. They're still not hinges, so they're still not going to be perfect, but they are, like, look at that, a whole lot less play than like this. See? And we push it, it wiggles all around. This is much more firm. Other than that, externally, they're pretty much exactly the same. Going around. The new one does have a clear K cart, which is a little SD card reader for it. It is still compatible with the original Revo. So if you actually bought one of these or you have the K1 SP, you can still use your cards in the new unit. They're cross-compatible, basically. That's pretty much the main advantage of the new one, is it just has better buttons and better colors. But also, it's just nice that they actually have them in different colors now. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty nice look. The lighting out here is not perfect, but I like the fact that it's transparent. This review model was provided to me from them, so keep that in mind. But overall, I like the original K1, the one I bought with my own money. I like the Revo even better than one they sent me. I thought it was way better to have more accurate buttons, and they just keep working on the buttons. These just keep getting better and better with each release. Still got your little charging light. It bleeds a little bit because it's clear. One kind of thing that's a little bit odd is the fact that they didn't use any like colored brackets or whatever on the screen. Not a big problem, but it does stand out a bit. As you can see, the entire LCD panel, or LCD panel sticking out. They had like a little bit of a spacer, like a black spacer or whatever. That could clear that right up, so it just fits with the overall look. It does stand out a bit, but it's not a problem at all. It looks really cool, but I mean, for some people, aesthetically, they may not like that. But yeah, overall, this is just, like I said, it's just getting better and better, more improved features. Although I would still like to be able to, like, map these to something else. I don't think they've actually added that feature in yet. The screen actually looks, I don't quote me on this. I don't know if they changed the screen, but I think the contrast of the screen looks a little bit better. I noticed that doing a brightness comparison of both of these, you can't really see it because it's outside if I did it right now, but a brightness comparison, this was actually a little bit darker than the original K1 Revo Plus. So, and when I was looking at the colors at different brightness settings, it looked like this one was had a little bit better contrast. Not a ton. It's not going to make like a night and day difference, but I did feel like this felt a little bit more natural, especially with the gradients and stuff. But that could just be me. I'm not going to claim that's a feature. You can ask them about that if they use a new screen. It could just be my imagination. But overall, really nice addition. If you have one of these and you're fine with the buttons, if you have the original release and you're fine with how the buttons feel, you're probably okay. I don't really think you have to upgrade, but if you haven't bought one yet, or you really, really don't like the buttons on these, or you just feel like, well, I would like better buttons, I can just give this to my brother or cousin, friend, or whatever, then fine, go ahead and buy one of these. The buttons are actually really nice. Again, I didn't have any problem with these, but you can definitely tell these are better from the first time you feel them. So, alright. Again, this is not a sponsored review. They are not paying me to make this review. I don't make any commissions off this. There are no referral links. I'm going to be linking directly to the site from just like browsing the links. So yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that. This unit was sent to me from them, so I know I did not pay for this outright. So yeah, think of that what you will. But again, it's a great unit. Many people have said that, not just me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a later video. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Externally, still the same. Internally, same hardware. But there was nothing really need to be changed with that, except maybe the clock. I haven't tested the clock yet, but on the original Revo, the clock would sometimes lose time over the course of like a couple days or hours or whatever. but it's something you can easily reset. But again, the only problems I had with the old unit were all had to do with emulation. For instance, the Game Boy Color games didn't support linking. There was no quick save, there was no auto save for when you were running ROMs or whatever. So if you're running just normal GBA cartridges, absolutely no problems. The only problem I had before was the buttons. That's been fixed. TV out still works, sleep mode still works, all that good stuff. So, alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick overview of a new version of the K1 Revo Crystal. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If you plan on picking one up, let me know too. That would be pretty cool. Alright, see you guys later. Bye. Let's just do one more look over this. Lighting's not perfect, but you can see all the fancy internals. I did test TV out with this. It works pretty well. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know. Alright. There's the power button. Remember, just hold that for a few seconds to turn it on or to turn it off. TV out, exit port, and yeah. See you guys later. Bye.